Welcome into Let Me Put a List Together on the all-new Podcast Entertainment Network, along with Brian Mitchell. I'm Mark Grody, and we are going to do a topic today, which Brian Mitchell has been wanting to do for some time. I'm not going to lie to you, it took a little bit of convincing. It didn't just pop off the page to me, but Brian has sold it to me. I think this is going to be a blast. Mr. Mitchell, welcome into the podcast. What are we doing today?
Well, we are going to go back in time, a little nostalgia trip. We're going to go back to elementary school. Some people call it grade school, and we're going to do the top 13 grade school memories. So here's the random list of grade school memories. Lunches, stickers, VCR videos, holiday parties, the teacher's smoking lounge, computer class, field trips, field day, Christmas and spring programs, specials like art, PE, and music, recess, your trapper keeper, fire drills and tornado drills, and the teacher's smoking lounge. We've got to get into this list because I'm really excited to talk about it, and maybe I'll even start.
Maybe
13.
you'll even start.
Yeah,
okay?
that's how excited I am.
Maybe I'll even have the last piece of pizza.
Maybe you can just go somewhere, and I'll just do the show all by myself.
Maybe I'll just let you give me $100. That was so great. Maybe I'll even go first today. All right, fire away, my friend.
All right, man. So the first one I'm going to talk about is number 13. And there was always this weird, strange room that you walked by, and that was the teacher smoking lounge. Back in the 80s, teachers smoked in the building. And so you'd be walking down the hall, and there'd be like this rare room where there'd be the lounge, and you'd kind of like just get a glimpse of it real quick. You'd get a glimpse, and all of a sudden you'd see like Mrs. Coyle, like your kindergarten teacher, puffing on a Pall Mall in there with her sandwich, filterless, with her sandwich sitting right there, and maybe her tab or the tab sitting there as well.
Diet right.
And it was just like, what are they doing in there? They can smoke, and it's just like this private getaway for teachers. And that always kind of threw me. And not only that, but I remember then, so you'd be in your room and you'd be at your desk and you'd be sitting there. Everybody's working very studiously. And then she comes over by you and you just get that whiff of tobacco, right from her clothes, It might be like a mix of like asserts and tobacco.
and whatever the perfume or cologne was back then.
So I would say number 13 on one of my just bizarre memories of grade school was the teacher smoking. Mark?
That's great. Well, you started it off as, oh my God, there's a teaching lounge. I'll take it a step further. For me, it was, oh my God, teachers smoke?
Yeah.
Right? Because I didn't think of my teachers as real people until maybe 20 years later. Then you're like, oh my God, they're like real people who go out partying and do stupid things and have sex and like have kids and family, right? And they might smoke cigarettes. Like really, when you're that age, you idealize your teachers. You just think that they're perfect human beings, and you tell your mom about Mrs. Harper or Mrs. Reisinger or whomever. Yeah. So I was shocked by that. And in my case, it was a social studies teacher who was male. So it was all those things that you said. It was whatever scent he already had on, probably for men, something in an aqua bottle of some sort.
Maybe a Stetson, maybe a nice strong Stetson. Maybe
I'll see your Stetson and raise you a Jovan Musk.
Oh, okay. Or I'll even give you the ultimate, which was the Brute.
Oh my God, the Brute, which was technically aftershave, but I guess.
You know what? That's another thing that you were saying, and I liked how you were touching on that. When we were kids, the teachers were like doing everything by the rules, and then you just knew them at school. And then when you saw them at the grocery store, it was literally like you were seeing like a famous person.
Oh, yeah. like
Mom, my teacher's here. Oh, go up and say hi to her. No, I can't. Seeing them in this different context made them real and human, and she eats celery.
Oh, my. And how about this? How about this, Brian? Hearing their first name. Because when we were kids, I know it's different now, but when Brian and I were kids, and I'm sure a lot of our audience, we called our teachers Mrs. Smith, Mrs. Jones, Mr. Peel, Mr. Tyson. I don't know if that's still the case. Don't they do it by their first names now? Like Miss Lisa?
I don't think. Yeah, Miss Lisa. A lot of times I think that is because it's easier to say. I think if they have a name that's a little bit more difficult to say, then they just say like Miss Lisa or something like that.
Well, that's all with all things. I like the way they did it in my day.
That's right. Number 13 is the teacher smoking lounge. Mark, you have number 12.
I was all in on the holiday parties. And in particular, what I remember was two things. There were the Valentine's Day parties. And in our case, you'd go to Walgreens or whatever was around then, actually, in our case, then it was like a local pharmacy, but whatevs. But we would have to write a little Valentine to all of our classmates.
That's right.
And while you're there, make one for your mom and your dad and your brothers and your cousins or now that I think about it, what an exhausting, arduous process that was. It's like, it is, you know what it's akin to as an adult man is writing thank you letters.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Just this systematic thing where you're not really putting thought into it. You're like, Joni, happy Valentine's Day. You're my Valentine.
And that's it.
And then you all go and exchange these stupid little cards.
We used to have these white paper bags that they would tape these white paper bags, and you could decorate your bag for Valentine's Day. Put your name on it.
Sure.
And then they would tape them up to where the blackboard was, where they hold the erasers. And then you just go by and drop all your cards in there. And then everybody would get their bag, and then you would see all these different Valentines in there.
That makes it even more impersonal. It's like, not only are we going to mass produce these cards, we're going to mass distribute them. Here's all your cards. There you go. You know, everybody put your card in the little, don't hand it to little Susie. Put it in her bag, please. The other one that really pops off the page to me is Halloween. And what a blast that was to show off your Halloween costume to your fellow K through 5ers. I mean, that's when Halloween is Halloween, period.
Two things I remember about holiday parties, and I'll tackle Christmas, is we used to have a Secret Santa. But the funny thing about the Secret Santa is there was like $1, $3 or something like that on that. And I'm like, what the hell are you going to buy? Even in like 81, 82 for $3. What? So basically the boys would get Matchbox cars. You know what I'm saying? And then when we were older, we would get like posters or something like that, because that's like the only thing you could find for around $3. And of course, some parents would spend a little bit more, and and then the other kid would get like a toothbrush, and then
somebody would get like a remote control car. Like, wait a minute,
exactly, yeah.
Come on,
geez, I heard Billy's dad's a CEO. Man, I hope I get him.
Yeah, it's the remote control car that's not attached to anything. It's like the good one. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Christmas also had, whenever we had parties, we had these things called room mothers. They were always the moms that came in.
Oh, yeah.
They were kind of in charge of running like the treats and the drinks, and if we had pizza or if we had cookies or.
Was Anne a room mom?
No, she was not, because she was like full time working all the time.
Okay.
She's a single mother, so she had to work all the time. So no,
I understand. God bless her.
Never did that. So that was number 12. Number 11 on our list of top things we remember from grade school, elementary school, and that would be fire drills and tornado drills. So the fire drills were always held. It always seemed like right before lunch, at least in our school. And if it was cold outside, you had to go and grab your coat, and everybody had to walk single file line. And I just remember that the teacher is screaming at the top of her voice while this loud, annoying horn. Okay, everybody, let's go. Walk down. Everybody meet outside. There's parking lot number 1. And she's like screaming, and there's like this massive chaos going on. And then finally you stand out there, everybody's like freezing their ass off until, okay, he said it was okay, we can come inside. Bud,
but that's a process to get back in. Okay, single file. No, you're not. No drinks. No.
Bud, like the janitors waving everybody in. Everybody had a janitor named Bud. Hey, come on in, guys. Come on in.
But to get the kids back in there, they're all fired up,
exactly.
Pardon the pun, but they're in there. It's like that now the teachers. I wonder if that's what it was from their perspective. They probably hated those for the going back inside part. Yeah. Now these kids are all fired up. Gotta settle them
down. Everybody sit down.
Yeah.
Sit down. We just had the fire. Sit down. And then the other ones that were very
hilarious.
popular in the Midwest, which is where we're from, is those tornado drills. And the tornado drills, I mean, it required two things. It required a brick wall in the hallway, and it required some sort of heavy type of textbook that you faced the wall and went over your neck. Yeah, it was like doing some weird type of protective yoga. You're sitting there like...
But your neck is bent.
I know.
I don't think that happens in yoga.
As I got older, I was thinking really, is this the best remedy for this? Really what the kids need to do? I mean, is this really going to protect them?
We're dead, yeah.
You're dead, dude. If there's a tornado coming through that, man, yeah.
We're going to die in an organized fashion. That's the way this is going to happen. No, you spelled it out really well. And I just remember being really uncomfortable and trying to peek up while we were supposed to have our heads on, the teachers always catching me or, randomly keep Mark, put your head back down. Nope. Hey, what are you going to do? This is a real tornado. You really going to put your head up like that? Is that what you're going to do? So here's what I liked about both of the drills. One thing that I really liked, I like the fact that it wasted time in the day. I'm one step closer to lunch or recess or getting the hell out of here for the day. So that's number 11. So I guess that takes me at number 10. Yeah. Right, Brian?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Okay. Field day.
Okay.
Now, it took me, when I saw that one, it took me a second to remember what the field day was. But I do remember it now. And it was all day sports chaos, where we would be playing kickball and softball. There'd be, now I remember. And this is probably the last time in my life that I was a part of this, but relay races. After fifth grade, there's really not a great outlet in life for relay races unless you join track. There's no elective course, there's no class, there's no little league of track. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's so specialized that you don't get. But I remember having those. I also remember there being some sort of food service. Sometimes it was McDonald's. I think there might have been some grilling, which I just found to be absolutely amazing. Having brand food on site at school as opposed to the usual humdrum. There was something very novel about the whole thing. So that's the way I remember field day.
The way that I remember field day is field day was always at the end of the year. Everybody was picked to run certain races. Some kids ran relays. Some kids ran the 100-yard dash. I was picked to run the 100-yard dash because I guess I was supposedly fast.
Wow.
So ran the 100-yard dash my first year and won. I got a blue ribbon, so I made it into first place. And I think second grade, I think I ran it again, and I think I got the red ribbon, which was second place. And then by fourth grade, I'm doing softball toss.
Softball toss.
Yeah, that was kind of like their shot put. Instead of doing shot put, you had to throw the ball as far as you could.
Yeah, I guess a 16-inch softball for an 8-year-old would be a task. Yeah.
I think it was more like a 12, not a 16.
Yeah. Okay.
I was really a fast runner when I was young, and then I don't know if I started to gain weight or whatever, and then I became the shot put guy. So, and I was really skinny in school. So, I mean,
you just kept getting demoted.
I just kept getting demoted. I mean, I was first place, and then I went to second place. And then it was just by fourth grade. It was I just put him in the softball toss.
That was my clarinet play. All right, you're playing the regular clarinet. You know what? To simplify things for you a little bit, so we're going to have you play the bass clarinet. You're still in the band, but we're going to have you play the bass clarinet.
Nice. You're going to play cymbals. You're going to play percussion.
Yeah, bass drum.
Yeah, bass drum. Yep.
Right. Barry saxophone. Congratulations.
So that was field day. What number was that? Number 10? Right?
That was, 13, 12, 11, 10. Yes.
All right. So now we are moving to number 9. And number 9 is going to be something that was very popular in the 80s. And I don't remember it out in first, second grade. I remember this dropping about third grade, which would be about 1984, 85. And that was every kid had to have a trapper keeper. There was nothing cooler than a trapper keeper. Basically what it was, it looked like a little folder that had a top and it folded over. What would you call that? Almost a, it was a binder, but it was a very cool looking like binder.
Right. It was almost professional looking.
Yeah,
really.
Exactly. And it came in like some kids just had the basic green or the red, but then the other kids that were a little bit more, cooler had maybe the sports on the cover. Maybe they had space stuff on the cover, like, planets, things like that. Those were the real cool ones. They came with like, you could put as many, I think, folders as you wanted in it, but normally it just came with like 3. And it was easy to carry your stuff. I mean, you could separate it. I mean, I think there was only like math and reading and then everything else. So it was extremely type A, which I'm not. So it did help me, become a little bit more type A with my schooling and taking stuff home. So the Trapper Keeper is going to be number 9 for me. Mark, what about you?
Will it surprise you to hear that I am not type A, Brian? Does that
No, not at all. No, not at all. Absolutely. I think you're not type A, Mark, by any chance.
I would, I'm more like type Z.
Okay,
so here's why I bring that up, because by the way, my Trapper Keeper, green Trapper Keeper, loved it. 'Cause I was obsessed with the color. Still am. Still my favorite color. I always loved for some green Trapper Keeper. Here was the problem that I had. Even when I am always in my life, I am what I call temporarily organized. So there was a temporary organization to my life with the Trapper Keeper, but then I just stuffed that thing to the maximum. Like I had old papers, new papers, stuff in there that like just it was like twice the size as it needed
and it
be.
It could barely Velcro.
Yes, it could barely Velcro. You forgot the Velcro. That's right. Yeah, it was Velcro. And I just remember like maybe once or twice a year, either my teacher or my mom would like see it and just be disgusted. Be like, what is in there? You clean that. The time to it was either my mom or the teacher saying, Mark, what are you doing over here? Like, get some of this stuff. Wait, you were supposed to turn this paper in 3 weeks ago. What is this? Like, they'd find all this stuff. And I'd be like, I don't know. What were you drawing here? What is this? Oh, there's the math homework you said the dog ate. I'd be like, oh my God, it's all in the Trapper Keeper. The Trapper Keeper does not keep secrets. I was exposed, man. I was exposed.
What's
by
funny
my
is
Trapper
that I'm going through that right now with Jet. And that's so funny that you say that he'll have his folders will come home and we won't check his book bag for like, a week and a half. And then all of a sudden we start finding like all this stuff, like permission slips we were supposed to turn in like 3 days ago.
Or a report card.
Report cards. What is this? Oh, nice. So.
Oh, I got so much trouble like for stuff like that. Mark, you're supposed to do something with this. Oh, we had to go get you a whole new piece of paper because you said you lost this.
Yeah.
It's
like I'm sorry, I didn't know. I didn't know. I forgot. That was it. I forgot. I didn't know.
Yeah, I don't even know. No, I didn't even say that. I knew I was guilty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I knew I had a dirty little secret in my Trapper Keeper, and I was just waiting for somebody to find it all. So that's where the bodies are buried for me.
Is in the Trapper Keeper.
Yes, in the Trapper.
All right. So you're next. That was number 9, right? Now we're going to number 8.
All right, number 8. Good job on Trapper Keeper. I enjoyed that talk.
Hold that thought right there, Mark. We'll be right back. You're listening to Let Me Put a List Together on the Podcast Entertainment Network.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Caleb Gardner tweeted, "Can someone please explain Untuck It to me? I just don't understand the positioning. Shirts designed to be worn untucked have existed for a long, long time. Mr. Gardner, respectfully, there's a difference between a shirt that can be worn untucked and a shirt designed to be worn untucked. You could use a leaf blower as a hairdryer. You can use a shoe as a pillow. But wouldn't you rather have something designed specifically for what you need it for? Find your shirt today at untuckit.com.
Let us know what you think of this week's list by getting in touch with the show. Email us at lists@podcastentertainment.com or call the PEN listener hotline at 833-763-7638.
Neil Armstrong waited 6 hours and 39 minutes to step onto the surface of the moon. Jackie Robinson waited 20 months to play his first game with the Brooklyn Dodgers. And even DiCaprio had to wait 22 years to win an Oscar. You can wait until your destination. Don't text and drive.
visit stoptextsstopwrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
And now, back to Let Me Put a List Together on the Podcast Entertainment Network.
You know what we're going to do, Brian? We're going to do VCR, VHS tapes, film strips, the whole thing. Oh, yeah, man. Well, I do remember VHS tapes in my life in the K through 5 area, but those were at home because of the VCRs just starting to happen when I was in grade school. So I don't remember ever in K through 5 having the luxury of a VCR tape. But definitely the film strips, those beautiful film strips that came in the tiny containers, and they would come in a box, and there'd be like 5 or 6 of them, and the teacher would take it out, and you'd watch her put the film through the tiny little projector, and they would inevitably screw it up at some point in time, and you would just watch very low quality presentation. But there was something magical about it because it was you could see it and feel it and touch it. It was nothing that was coming from a phone. It was all there. Here's the magical parts it's going to take to see moving pictures on the screen. It's not going to be great. It's really not. Everything's going to be a little bit off. It's like a science kit almost that they would bring in and wheel it in. I don't know if you had this at this point, but there was also not just the film strips, but the actual reel-to-reel
those were
ones.
great.
And those were great, but I was always very stressed because I was usually very entertained by the product. However, at some point in time, there was always a breakdown.
Yeah.
The teacher had to turn the lights on, and it'd take forever to fix it. And then, like, I didn't want the time wasted then, like full circle. Now I didn't want the time wasted. I'd be like, oh, well, the bell just rang. Sorry. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow. But I wanted to watch that. So that's what goes through my head.
What's interesting is when you said that about, the reel-to-reel, the movie projectors, for some reason, I forgot about that. But yeah, the movie projectors where, you'd see the film like sitting there. The projector,
huge container, right?
But the projector wouldn't be brought in yet. So you're like thinking, is this today? Is this going to be tomorrow?
Oh my God. What does it say?
When are we getting? What does it say?
Don't do drugs? Oh my God. Is that what we're watching?
Bicycle safety? Awesome. Yeah. And the film strip, don't forget, you're missing the most important part of the film strip, and that was being elected to change the scene. So you'd be playing the cassette tape or whatever would be with that, and it would go, science is very important. Boom. And you'd have to click that thing, and then it'd be like, science is very important because science is a part of life. Everything is science. Boom. And you'd have to hit the thing and turn it. Yes. Now, if you were the kid that got elected to do that, man, you knew you had clout if you were the film strip kid. And I did forget that you were a little bit older than me, but VCRs hardcore on the scene from like 4th grade for me. And I was in elementary till 6th grade. That's how they did it. So yeah, when you saw that cartwheel in with the VCR on the bottom and the TV on the top, I mean, seriously, it was Christmas and Halloween and all that like wrapped into one. You knew that there was going to be wasted time and all you had to do was watch TV. It was like being at home. It was great. So you just kick back and watch it. Half the kids fell asleep. I loved when we had VCR videos, film strips, and things like that. It was great time wasters.
So that's number 8, Brian Mitchell. Number 7.
Yeah, I'm doing number 7. This is something that was such a big deal when I was in school, and I see a lot of like memes talking about it, and that's what brought my attention to it. And in 4th grade, there was a room that was set up for computers, and we had Apple II computers. So my number 7 is going to be computer class. That's basically what we called it. And it was an opportunity. We didn't do typing. We didn't do anything. We just learned how to take a floppy disk, and those were the old school big floppy disks, not those little plastic ones, the big ones. And you shove that thing in, turn it, and then, you'd turn it on, and there was only like one game that everybody played, and that was Oregon Trail. So it was like this trail that you had to do, and you had to pack up all your supplies, and you had to take the Oregon Trail. And it seemed like no one knew how to get to Oregon because everybody died of dysentery. So no one survived. I don't know what the plan was. I don't know.
This is not for fourth graders.
Yeah, and it would be cool. And no one knew what the hell dysentery was. Like, what the hell is dysentery? They're like, I've died from dysentery or something. I don't know, man. It's like, I quit. I died from dysentery. That's what I loved about computer class, because that was right at the start of when computers were becoming a big deal in school, because it was just this room. I remember it was hot as hell too. You'd be in this room and, just all the computers were on, and I don't think we had air conditioning in this particular school. So what about your computer experiences?
All right. So this is a fascinating episode because not just because of the episode, but as you said, so I'm 49. You're 47?
Yeah.
It's funny how a 2-year age gap, there are differences. And so here was the difference in my case. Like, I remember the Apple II, but when I was there, we worked on a computer called the TRS-80. Do you remember the TRS-80? Does that ring a bell at all?
Is that something through Tandy? Is that like the Radio Shack TS?
Something like that. TRS-80, right?
Yeah.
It was one of the first computers. Yeah. It was before Apple even existed.
Unless that was like IBM or something.
Maybe it was IBM, but then there was the Commodore 64.
Yeah,
does that ring a bell?
Yeah, that was the home computer. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's fascinating that the TRS-80 doesn't just jump off the page for you, but that is interesting. But that was the computer that we worked on, and I bet you there'll be a lot of people who are listening like, oh yeah, TRS-80. But the floppy disks definitely were a part of that. The Oregon Trail was part of that, and just some cheap, horrible programs, and you had to put in a little bit more code by yourself.
Yep.
Then. So press spacebar, HL / Q, filling out this code. It was so weird just to get onto something,
and they would write it on the blackboard. So you would know the code to get into whatever.
Yes.
And then you had to sit there and kind of hunt and pack away. If you were one off, though, man, you were screwed,
Oh, man, it was just tedious, man.
I'd be like, Mrs. Cameron, I can't, this not working. And then 5 other kids, Mrs. Cameron, hold on, John, Mrs. Cameron, I can't, 5 kids screaming they can't get on. The one smart kid that has the Commodore. Oh, dude, it's real easy. You just kind of do this.
Yeah,
and blah, blah, blah. And he has it at home because his dad has it. Yeah. Oh, no, it's real easy. You just kind of put this in. Oh, okay.
I was always overmatched by those computers, though, man. I remember.
Clearly, Mark, till this day, you are still overmatched.
I've gotten better.
Yeah, sure.
I really, I try. I haven't given up. But no, I do remember. Yeah, I'm one of the original, I don't understand technology at the age of 8. You know what I mean? I don't care about all this stuff. I was so overmatched.
This stuff's gonna go away anyways. I don't care. I got my calculator. That's all I need.
Yeah, I got my Trapper Keeper with my pens and my paper. Why do I need to be typing on this brilliant machine? So. All right, that was fun, man. I enjoyed that discussing computer class at number 7. And that brings us to number 6, and I do believe that would be me. So I'm going to go with lunchtime, man. I don't know. Were lunch boxes a big deal for you when you were
Absolutely.
K through 5?
Absolutely.
I mean, we're not talking the brown bags.
No.
Actual, not even plastic, a tin. They were tin or aluminum or something like that.
Yep.
And they were these big, obnoxious sized lunch boxes. Nothing about it was economical it was practical for sure. But so anyway, I loved my lunchbox. Yeah. It was an Incredible Hulk lunchbox. It's everything. I love the Hulk. I love the
now, was
color
it
green.
Was it like the TV show Hulk, or was it the?
Yeah, it was like Lou Ferrigno-esque. Yes. Yeah, it wasn't the comic. I don't believe. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, because that's what that show was popular then. So they were obviously trying to franchise off of it, and they did in my case, and I absolutely loved it. And I always remember there's the little spokes inside where you put your thermos, you could put it snug in there and just load up that lunchbox, some form of like peanut butter and jelly or bologna and cheese. Very simple, very basic. We didn't try to overcomplicate things with,
not at all.
Turkey and salami and provolone. It was just very American cheese. And that was always, and then the thermos of milk in my Hulk thermos. And it was just dandy. And just, even if I wasn't hungry, just to have the Hulk lunchbox by me at all times made me feel very comfortable.
So that was the extent of your lunch. What we did was, it was from first to about second grade, it was all about the lunchbox. It was all about bringing your lunch from home. So I had 2 lunch boxes. I had the Superman movie one in first grade, and then I had Dukes of Hazzard in the second grade, a show that you couldn't watch, yet I had the lunch box, which was, I know you're still bitter and burnt.
We found a way. We found a way.
Oh, that's right, with the babysitter. And then from there, it went from... It was like, okay, lunchboxes aren't as cool anymore. Now it's all about hot lunch. Now you bring your money and you go get lunch. So pizza and tacos, always a big hit. They had those long square pizzas. And then we also had Thursdays was always like taco day. But I remember like Mondays, they would have like these soy looking hamburgers. I don't even know if they were like real meat, but they looked kind of disgusting. Like some type of partial meat, partial something.
Yeah, no, it was soy. It was like soy. You're right.
And I didn't like the barbecue look nasty, so we didn't do that. And then like around like 5th grade, they brought in a salad bar. And you could take whatever you wanted, but you had to eat it. And if you didn't eat what was on your plate, you would get in trouble. So there'd be kids that would be taking their like milk cartons and taking the salad that they didn't eat and stuffing it in the old milk cartons after they drank their milk, trying to hide it and throwing it in the garbage. Yeah, it was strategic, very strategic. There was also another thing called Cook's Choice. And it always looked like Monday, you'd see barbecue. Tuesday, you'd see tacos. Wednesday, you'd see, pizza.
Wow.
Thursday,
you'd
see something.
K through 5 school?
Thursday, you'd see something. And then on Fridays, it would be like Cook's Choice. And Cook's Choice was always whatever was left over. So if they had like massive amounts of barbecue, well, that's what the Cook's Choice was.
Chef surprise.
Chef surprise. Cook's Choice.
Cook's Choice. Hey, you know what? Hey, by the way, we didn't have any hot food in K through 5. Nothing.
Really?
Nothing. We had occasionally they'd bring in McDonald's or something like maybe once or twice a year. It was like this big deal. Yeah, we didn't have hot food. It was every day. We had to rough it, Mr. Mitchell.
You had to bring your...
Everything you're saying is just foreign to me. I'm like what? You had like special days when you were in 4th? I didn't experience the honor and pleasure and novelty of hot school lunch until junior high. Even then, I wasn't allowed to buy the damn hot food. Wow.
Jeez. I'm worried about you, Mark.
I know you should be.
No wonder why you were running away from this. You have a very painful elementary experience.
Right. It's an episodic. It's all coming out. Now hold me.
This is therapy for you. Jeez, I wonder what it was like to go to a real elementary school.
I've got 5 more items on this list to be cured of this memory I have.
All right. On to number 5. And number 5 is going to be field trips.
Yum.
Mark, I want you to tell me, do you have any memories of the best field trips that you used to take in elementary school?
Absolutely. And it was the most memorable ones I have were to the museums. And in particular, I would say the Museum of Science and Industry, because it is definitely catered towards kids. Well, I think that adults can enjoy it too, but there's definitely plenty to do and learn in a fun way at the Museum of Science and Industry. And I remember they had the big heart that you could walk in and the heart would be thumping. And I always thought that was a little scary. And like the interactive displays where I don't remember what I was touching, but it would light something up. So I thought that was cool. So
what about the experience though of like the whole trip? Like first you get the permission slip sign, and then you get the okay.
Oh yeah. Oh, Brian, was my answer not good enough for you, Brian?
I
yes,
can do that. I can take that. I can take that. I can talk about that if you want me to.
The permission slip. There was the bus ride, which was great. You got to choose which friend you want to sit next to, and the brown lunch, and everything like that. So is that better, Brian?
Yeah, that's it. All right. Thanks for clearing that experience up for you. So you were doing a lot of the bus trips, and I can't remember a lot of bus trips for me, but what I do remember is we did take a bus over to this planetarium that was local. It was in another school, and it was run by a guy who had a haircut that looked like Spock. I don't know if that was on purpose.
Exotic.
And he wore like these, those pants like you'd see the guy on Caddyshack. Who was the guy on Caddyshack?
Like
Judge Schmales.
Like Knickers?
Yeah, like Judge Schmales. You know, he would have one of those like multicolored cross-looking pants.
Yeah.
That's what he wore. And then imagine this guy having like a Spock haircut, talking about all the different constellations in the sky, and this is Orion, and this is that, and it was
had
such
to be an act.
It was such an experience to go there and see. That when they said you were going to the planetarium, it was so cool because they would, they'd turn the lights down and then all of a sudden you'd see all these stars and learning about astronomy and all that. I used to get such a kick out of that. So my other field trips, though, I don't really remember those. So I don't know if we took too many of those.
That's hilarious, man.
But you did have to get a permission slip for those. I remember taking field trips.
Slip.
Yeah, I remember.
Let's go back to that part. To that part.
But I remember taking a lot of field trips though as I got older. So, but you got to go to the cool museums and stuff because you were in the Chicago suburbs. Of course, I was in the country, as you say, only 40 minutes south of Chicago.
Exactly.
But yeah,
Indiana, man. Yeah. Come on. Yeah, you can't call yourself Chicago. Okay. I can.
And what we're gonna do is move into number 4, and that would be the Christmas and spring program. I was into music, so Christmas and spring programs were right up my alley. So as I got older, I got to like star in all these like different Christmas programs that we put together. I remember one year I played a grandpa on stage. Nice. Another year I got to play Santa Claus for the Christmas program. Some of the spring programs, we got to do lip syncing things of, popular music. I sang like Billy Joel's For the Longest Time with like 4 of my friends, and it was like a doo-wop like thing that we put together. Yeah.
You pulled that off, huh?
Yeah, I did. And it was a huge deal. It was 6th grade.
That's
it was
cool,
like
man.
Everybody thought that it was amazing that, we put this thing together. So, and there was one spring program that we had, I remember like in 1st or 2nd grade. And it was very traumatic to me because I tried out to be the rabbit in Alice in Wonderland.
Okay.
And Mike Henninger got that. And
what?
I didn't.
What?
Mike Henninger. Mike Henninger got it.
Jesus.
To this day, I remember his name. And you know what? I made up for it, though, in later years. I was like, no one is going to be the star of these programs. I am going to be.
You have been called out,
and that's
Mike Henninger.
And I told Mike Henninger, you got to
network,
step aside, dude. We're network. You got to step aside. So, but no, I have very good memories of those programs. So what about you? Now, I remember when we were talking about this, and some of these on the Choozometer came up, and you were like, you had to be like nudged. Like, what do you mean? So did you have Christmas and spring programs?
We did. And I just don't see, it makes sense because it sounds like you were a pretty big part of it. Like you were kind of like the little star, and you really enjoyed it. It really resonated with you. For some reason, that stuff did not resonate with me much, but we had them. And I remember there would be like the parent. And I always thought another thing that was really cool and novel was going into the elementary school at night in non-school hours when you'd go in there and you'd see everybody out of context. I always found that to be fascinating. And then you walk into this gym that's usually there for us to run and play hoops on and whatever. And there's all these tin folded chairs and they're in there and all these people are dressed nicely and they're gathering to watch the play at the elementary
Or you saw the risers. Like you'd have like the kids standing on the risers.
The risers were out.
Yeah, the risers were out and you knew it was showtime. And don't forget, there was always that one kid that either threw up or passed out and had to be removed, but didn't miss a beat. kept going.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Billy Tanneman over there is like, he's wiggling back and forth, and all of a sudden the teacher comes behind, grabs him, and rushes him out as he like passes out from the heat of being being in his red Christmas sweater that's like 5 sizes too big for him because it's his brother's.
The mom and dad are like jumping, running down the aisle, knocking over people's.
Don't forget the video cameras. Everybody had the video cameras too, the big ones, you know?
Yeah. Oh,
no smartphones.
Gotta put it on your shoulder.
Yep.
Yeah, no smartphones. Definitely sparks the memories of those kind of special feeling holiday nights at old Washington K through 5.
All right, man. So that was my number 4, and that was Christmas and spring programs. Number 3, Mark. We got 3 left.
I tell you what, quick break, and then we will be back. You are listening to Let Me Put a List Together on the Podcast Entertainment Network.
Enjoying this podcast? Be sure to check out all the other PEN podcasts by visiting www.podcastentertainment.com.
We started Untuck to help guys look sharp and feel casual. Because traditional shirts just weren't meant to be worn untucked. Untuck shirts fall at the perfect length and are designed for guys of all shapes and all sizes. So now everyone can experience the perfect fit of an untucked shirt.
At least somebody made the right call.
Lawnmower 3.0.
Son, what are you doing in here?
Nothing.
Did I hear you say manscape?
Yeah.
Son, take a seat. I was gonna wait till you were a little older to tell you about this. When I was about your age, I experimented with manscaping.
Dad, that won't happen with the new Manscaped Lawnmower 3.0. It's made with skin-safe technology to help reduce against nicks and cuts. You can even shave your gooch.
What's a gooch?
Head over to manscaped.com and get yourself the Lawnmower 3.0.
Get in touch with the show through the PEN listener hotline at 833-PODS-NET. That's 833-763-7638.
And now, back to Let Me Put a List Together with Mark and Brian.
Woo! All right, I'm going to go with one that is ranked very, very low on my list as in good, as something I love and was obsessed with, and those were stickers, and specifically scratch and sniff or smelly stickers, as we called them.
Yeah.
And there was a rage in, I guess, I think I was in 5th grade.
Yeah.
So there was this rage that happened over a few month period where collecting scratch and sniff smelly stickers was a huge deal, and trading them and multiplying them. I remember I was so into them. You get the whole row. It wasn't just one sticker. You get like the whole sheet of the same sticker, smelly sticker. And then we'd put them in a photo album, the old school photo albums with the sticky, clear saran wrap. And I'd fill a photo album with all my smelly stickers, and then we would trade them and try to find the elusive ones. There was always like some like off scent, like
kiwi,
some like kiwi or barley flavor, you know, something really off, you know, that
was the holy grail.
Personally, you're right. Like,
because it wasn't just like a straight up like cherry or a strawberry. Those were like every day, or a banana. No, it's nothing like that.
But those were awesome too.
Yeah.
But
you wanted to get like root beer, you know? Like
root beer. Right. Yes, root beer. That's a great one. Yes, or some kind of like pop or Coke flavor.
I remember these, and this one is sticking in my head right now, and it's coming back. I remember pickle. So it smelled like a dill.
Pickle. Yes.
Smelled like a dill pickle. Yeah.
That was one of the more distinctive smells. Yeah. And now that you mentioned that, I'm like smelling that right now.
Do you remember Garbage Pail Kids, or was that too beyond
that? Yeah, that was. Yes, you could say it, Brian. I was too old for that.
Yeah. You had like a picture book, but I had just a spiral notebook, and then just put all the stickers in there, and you would just carry them around. I think I had like ET stickers and things like that too. Like I'd have like all these random stickers.
I know it's ironic, but I was not into collecting sports things.
Yeah, we understand that. Mark, you have a very corporate philosophy, and you know what that is? It's like whatever makes sense, just do the exact opposite. You know?
Well, you got to be a dick.
Because I am. Okay. Anyways, so that was number 3, was that?
That was me. So you, sir, have the number 2.
All right. This one is very, very special to me. Okay. Well, it's not special. And I get this name from my kids because they call this specials. We didn't have that name for it, but what they mean is the classes that you went to outside of your homeroom class in elementary. So that would be like art, PE, music. We even had library where you got to go to the library and learn how to use the Dewey Decimal System.
Oh my God, the Dewey Decimal System.
Holy cow, Dewey Decimal. Had to learn that like in 4th grade. That's when you went down for special classes for the Dewey Decimal System in the library.
Hey, serious question. Is the Dewey Decimal still used?
I have no
idea.
Anyway, so specials, I got some great stories, and these all revolve around how cool my teachers were. In art, I had Mr. Wild, and he had like a Mo haircut. You know, like how Mo looks.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It was great because Mr. Wild was so crazy talented with drawing. And so he would give us like inanimate objects to draw. So it'd be like, okay, take off your shoes and you guys are going to draw your shoes. So you draw your shoes and stuff. And you'd start working on your shoes and stuff. And then like, you'd come to a part and you'd go up to him and take your paper up there. You go, Mr. Wild, I'm having a problem like making this Converse star. Can you help me? Oh, sure, Brian. And all of a sudden, he'd like start on the Converse star and then he'd continue on the whole thing, dude.
Right.
He'd like basically almost finish it. He's like, here, just sketch. And then all of a sudden, like I'd be done and it was Mr. Wild's work. And then he'd be like, go through all of them and then put your art on the wall. But it was really Mr. Wild's art. It wasn't mine.
The teacher wins with that because it's two-pronged. It's two-pronged. Number one, he moves things along. He's not going to sit there. I'll be damned if I'm going to sit here all day with a bunch of 7-year-olds trying to our shoes. So he moves that's number one. And then when the parents come in to see the work of the kids, they're like, wow, that's really good. This teacher must be awesome. So did you ever realize how self-fulfilling that was for your teacher? Or am I just not bringing this to your attention?
I guess it was because they did their art and then put it on the wall, but then put my name under it. It was awesome.
Right. So everybody wins. The teacher wins. The kids win.
Everybody wins to make you feel
parents
good.
Are happy with everybody, right? The parents are like, oh, you're gifted, son, and the teacher, he must be really good. Wow.
So his name was Richard. So I've always found that name
Richard.
Dick Wild. I love it, dude. I love it. Dick. They call him Dick. They call, hey Dick, how are you, sir? And I'm like, hey, Dick Wild, awesome. I love it.
Lean into it.
And then I had PE. And that was with Mrs. Miller. And of course, this is early mid-'80s. So you're playing dodgeball. You're playing competitive sports. You're climbing the rope up to the top of the gym, and you're doing like the physical fitness tests and all that. And I remember there's 2 things that I remember Mrs. Miller always saying and I can still repeat them to this day. The first one being whenever we played volleyball, she would say the same thing over and over again. And it would be like, side out, rotate over here. And that's so in my head. That's so in my head.
Side out, yeah.
Side out, rotate over here.
Gotta learn.
It's so like ingrained in my head. The other one was
side out.
Was when we played kickball. And it was kickball, and it was, she wouldn't just say, all right, foul ball, or something like that. She'd go, foul ball. It's still in my head. It's like still there.
Who was this lady?
Mrs. Miller. I don't know. She just had these awesome, polyester pants, stretch pants or something.
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea.
Oh, my God.
Short haircut.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there was the parachute.
The parachute.
Remember the parachute?
We had the parachute. That must have been like everywhere.
Everywhere. And the parachute, you'd hold the side of it and they'd put like a Nerf ball and you'd try to ram it, shaking it up and down, trying to get the ball into the, Or the classic when you made the tent and you threw it over your head and then you had to sit down on it. Everybody's like, it was like everybody was like Beavis and Butthead. It was like,
because you're underneath it.
Cool. Yeah. And then finally, music. I already told you all about that, the programs and things like that. I was very involved in. So all those programs, Mrs. Burke was awesome. She used to let us do like music show and tell. And I remember one of the albums I brought in was Rick Springfield. And that was when Jesse's Girl was real popular. So I got to put that on. And, I was so cool, man. I was like, yeah, let's play this, and put that on.
Yeah, that's where it all started.
And then one time we got to break dance. So we brought in some Run DMC. That was like in fourth grade. And that was like next level. That was
kicking
like
the
next
Adidas
level.
early.
Word. So that was that. What about you in those specials, huh?
Well, I mean, you went through it very well. Now, as far as the art was concerned, I was so bad in art. I actually remember we had to do the shoe project as well, but we didn't trace them. We had to draw our damn shoes. Mm-hmm. I to this day, I am like horrible at drawing anything, like really bad. Like where it's like, oh my God, does this guy need help kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like it's almost not even funny. It's like, wait a minute, that's what you're drawing. So I was like, I actually tried tracing my shoe. That didn't work. And then I just had my brother Paul, he was very good in art, and I don't even know if he remembers this, but he drew it for me and took care of that, and I brought it in, and I got to some sort of acceptable grade. Nice. So PE I just adored. I loved it, everything. Like kickball, we did that. We did the thing with the parachute. Softball. I love gym. I looked forward to it. It was like the bright spot of my day. So I loved physical education. Yes. And then music too. I mean, we'd go to a music class like once or twice a week, and we would sing silly songs like folksy songs and happy songs and songs about friends and things like that.
Is that where you first got turned on to like instruments because of like the recorder?
No, but that was a part of it. The recorder for sure. Now, the whole music thing was because I had an older cousin who played clarinet, and I saw him at his high school concert, and I made up my mind that day, yep, I'm going to play the clarinet, and I did, and I learned it in fourth grade and fifth grade, and so I guess that's a part of a sidebar of all of that as well. So
you are into music, just not in maybe the choir aspect.
No, I'm not a strong singer, but I could play the clarinet. What can I say? I played for, from fourth grade through my freshman year in college. So yes, the old liquor stick, I could probably pick it up and play. Probably not at as high level as I once did, but I could still pick it and play it.
We're going to have to put that on the air one of these days. It'll be great.
Oh, absolutely.
It'll be a session with Mark.
And that'll be the last day we'll be pulled off the network if we do that. Hey, what the hell was that? These guys are playing musical instruments. Get them off the network now. All right, we have reached number one. And if you're like, wait, which one was I not thinking about? Well, the last one is, and I wouldn't expect anything less or more, it is Recess.
Yes.
Of course, it's. I mean, do we even really have to explain and or justify this one? It's not debatable.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, Recess.
This is the time when you could go out and do anything you pretty much want, and really, if you're at that age, everything you want is out there. You know what I mean? Like, you're not really thinking about drugs and alcohol or escaping. You're thinking about, that monkey bar just looks deluxe right now, or I'm gonna go climb on that weird piece of cheese or whatever that. I'm gonna go. There's a swirly slide. I'm going to go on that. Oh, they're getting a softball. I'm going to go do that. So Recess is everything a little kid could ever want. The only problem with Recess is that it ended, and that was depressing.
Yeah, very depressing. I mean, that was the end of crap, you got to go in. We had, I don't know if you were like this, but we had this thing where we would be doing something. So it'd be like you'd be looking forward to it. Like we played Kill the Guy with football. We would do Kill the Guy. So we were going to go out there and we're going to go do Kill the Guy. And then everybody would get together and you'd do that. And then one time what was really popular is we called it kickball, but all it was we would stand on we'd get all the dodgeballs out and we'd just kick them back and forth as high as we could. Nice. And some would end up on the top of the school building. And then what you try to do is kick the ball and try to land it into the basket across from you because you're at the
fun.
Yeah, had that going on. We had an awesome playground too. So we had like all these. And
did your playground serve food? I assume there you go out there and there's there's something grilling for you.
No, it wasn't as cool as that.
Oh, it's Taco Wednesday. Here you go. You can make your own burrito outside.
No, we didn't have anything cool like that. No.
Okay,
I mean, everybody was like Mark, brown bagging it, having some snacks out there. But recess was everything. And I mean, there's really no reason to even explain.
It still is everything. Like, there should still be a recess. You know what I mean? Like, in one's day, like, you know what? I'm not taking my break. I'm taking my recess.
Yeah, just go on your recess and just go and hang out and, find something creative to do out there. I mean, I remember when we were like in first and second grade, like it would just be people chasing other people. Like, what was that mindless stuff about?
Yeah, totally.
It's like, there'd be this one boy that all the girls would like. And then, of course, they'd just chase him around. You might be his wingman helping him out, getting him hidden or something. But it'd be like this tag thing that they would play. I remember something moronic like that. We also had recess was everything. And we had one in the morning and then we had one right after lunch. And I don't know if that's how yours worked. Was that?
I can't remember if there probably were two in some way, shape, or form, but I don't remember. I remember like the afternoon one or the late morning one better than perhaps the morning one. But yeah, everybody's listening like, yeah, duh, we get it. Recess, of course. So.
All right, Mark, we've got to the top, and the number one was recesses. What kind of list do you got going on?
All right, at number 13, I have holiday parties. Number 12, I have Christmas programs. Number 11, field day. 10, the teacher's smoking lounge. Number 9, I have fire drills and tornado drills. Number 8, the VCR, VHS, reel-to-reel film strips. At number 8, let's truncate that one next time, shall we? Number 7, computer class. Number 6, lunches. Number 5, trapper keeper. Number 4, field trips. Get your permission slip and stuff. Number 3, scratch and sniff stickers, baby. Number 2, recess, because I just love PE so much. I had it at number 1.
All right, cool. Okay, number 13, the teacher smoking lounge. Number 12, fire and tornado drills. Number 11, computer class. Number 10, stickers. Number 9, trapper keeper. Number 8, field day. Number 7, field trips. Number 6, Christmas and spring programs. Number 5, holiday parties. Number 4 is the VCR videos and such. Number 3 is lunches. Number 2, recess. And number 1, I agree, is the specials, art, PE, and music.
Wow. That's wild. We're on the same page.
I know. This is the
we were
first
making
time.
such a big deal about recess. Holy cow. I think you and I both had a dirty little secret. We weren't telling anybody.
We were telling anybody on that. So
yeah, I was like, after what we did for recess, I was like, I can't say PE now. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be brave today.
Oh, man. So I don't know, man. That was a pretty intense list.
I enjoyed that. I got to tell you, man, credit to you, Brian Mitchell, because I got to be honest with you. When you told me about this topic, I didn't like it. And you know that.
Yeah.
And you even kind of imposed it on me. We this was a part of a compromise of another conference. You're like, all right, I'll let you do that, but you gotta
do this.
You gotta humor me. And this was a blast, man. Bravo.
Yeah. Zero research.
Zero research.
Except your mental. Yeah.
And you yelled at me a couple times.
Yeah, it was good. I was so passionate about it. If you were failing.
You're very passionate. You're very passionate.
You said that's what these shows are about, being passionate about something.
That absolutely, man. That's it. We are totally and completely passionate about these things. So,
all right, it's going to wrap it up. That was fun, Mark. So don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, check us out. We are on the new Podcast Entertainment Network, and you can find us on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. You can also find us on our Instagram page or our Facebook page, or Mark, what else are we on? Twitter.
Sure. Yeah, Twitter. You pretty much named them all and then left the hard part for me. You're like, oh, hey, I'm not here to be your crutch, Brian Mitchell. No, you got it all. I mean, if you're listening right now, you found us, tell a friend about it. And there are other podcasts you could check out on the Podcast Entertainment Network. And it is just, this is the ground floor. And we hope to just make it great from here. And so until next time, for Brian Mitchell, I'm Mark Grody. We will talk to you guys later.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Let Me Put a List Together. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review on Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get podcasts.
Enjoying this podcast? Be sure to check out all the other PEN podcasts by visiting www.podcastentertainment.com.